people are saying that you can't be Chinese and queer, Chinese and gay. You can't be Chinese and like other things. And I was just so confused. Like, why? But I think it's because some people are not sure how to deal with that intersectionality. It's very, very hard to be a minority in multiple ways, specifically being like mainland Chinese American. People have always said that, like, people in general, not just Chinese Americans, like Americans in general learn that China and American are opposites. They're like enemies. Like currently right now, they say that they're enemies and they're opposites for everything. One is good, one is bad, completely. That's like what we learned growing up. So all Americans, I think specifically for Americans, not even like Chinese people like in Europe and everything, I'm sure they have a similar feeling, but also especially for America, for the US, it feels like these are opposite countries. And so I already knew what it felt like to be kind of a bad guy in both places. And people do say like, yeah, my families are traditional, my parents are traditional. But I think something that's been helpful for me is just learning about how queer Chinese history is, specifically like how gay Chinese history is. I think like, I don't know if you know, but like there are like 13 emperors for the Han Dynasty, and like 10 of them had gay lovers. That's just like one random fact. But I think like, this kind of stuff was so normalized, more traditionally, like the real traditional. And I think that some people have like a false idea, a Western idea of what traditional China looks like. And I think that especially in the United States, people refuse to believe that there's something else, that there can be something else. So on the surface, it looks like it's conflicting. But I think that by learning about my own queer history, people that looked like me, my ancestors, and their queerness, and I think that helped me a lot and realize that these two things aren't conflicting and that they exist within me. So that means they can exist together. And that's also something that I've learned about being Chinese American, is that embracing your Chineseness doesn't mean you're less American, and that an American can look Chinese and can be very Chinese. And this is something that exists here in me.
I think we all could benefit from having more nuanced thinking. And I think that is one observation that I have about US, whether it's in politics or in society. It's become so one way or the other. You know, China has to be bad. There can't be anything good. It's a bad country. It's evil. We can't learn anything from them, you know? And I think that's very dangerous. And that's when you lose your ability or the opportunity to progress and to learn. And that's why I try to, like, I've been sharing a lot about like humbleness and modesty. And those are things that we don't typically celebrate in westernized society.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for listening. And thank you for joining us in this journey to build a global Chinese diaspora community, one conversation at a time. Please remember to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your friends. And you can also follow us on Instagram at CulturedGen. That's where we post daily Chinese artistic and cultural content to inspire our modern living. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care.